So the elephant ivory is a little bit different, and it's kind of under its own class, and often elephant ivory, rhinoceros horn kind of gets grouped into some of this legislation together. And I'm a stickler for history and facts and dates, but so this is going to be your penalty. You're going to have to listen to me go through some of these dates. We have some great objects to look at after this, but I think it's important to get a little bit of background on where we came from, where we are now, and how the legislation relates to the objects and the antique objects that we have today. So really, the whole issue and regulation of the elephant ivory goes back only to 1975, when the CITES Treaty, the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, so it includes both plants and animals. That was began in 1975, and 180 countries adopted that. And then in 1978, the African elephant was listed as threatened under the Endangered Species Act in the United States. So prior to that, trade in ivory of any sort, modern, antique, was fine, was perfectly legal. And it wasn't until the 1970s that they started to get involved in regulation. By 1988, the United States imposed a moratorium on import of all elephant ivory coming from countries that were not part of the CITES Treaty. You could still import and export from CITES Treaty countries, but you had to have certificates. In 1997, Botswana, Namibia, and Zimbabwe report that populations of elephants were stable or increasing, and that poaching pressure was low, allowing for legal trade. And to me, that's important. That's 1997, not a real long time ago. And it's often represented that elephants across Africa are deeply in peril, and they're all endangered and threatened for sure. But some populations are more vibrant than others. Some populations that are very localized, little populations of elephants are going to go extinct and already have. And that is certainly a problem. And I suppose part of the first disclaimer is that we really aren't our eye to business. Most people are against illegal poaching of ivory and the plight of the African elephant. It's really unfortunate. But the fact is that certain populations are healthy, certain populations need to be regulated, and part of the regulations do involve that. By 2013, though, there was what they call an alarming growth of illegal trade in elephant ivory and illegal poaching, and that kind of brings us into where we are now. The real force and the real trouble for those surviving elephant populations is illegal trade and illegal poaching. In the 2013, President Obama signed an executive order combating wildlife trafficking, and it was actually a three-pronged approach that makes a lot of sense. First, to enhance domestic efforts to combat trafficking, and then the next two, to me, seem to be really important: to assist foreign nations in building capacity to combat wildlife trafficking, and third, to assist in combating transnational organized crime. Because a lot of this poaching is organized and it's international. And these elephants that are being slaughtered now are taking, and mostly the vast majority of that product is being shipped to Asia. In 2014, following that executive order, the United States Fish and Wildlife Service went through a renewal of a revision of the established Endangered Species Act. From February 2014 to July 2016 was the comment period, and I've been practicing saying this number. The amount of comments received, 1,315,513 comments. And I think even to the last number, that's an important number. People were really involved in this process. And I'll give the Fish and Wildlife Service credit for taking a long-term, taking a lot of this information, kind of putting it all together,